Hello student, I am your host Ali Raj and you are watching Getsitement. Before we can venture into the world of web development, it is important to have a fundamental understanding of how the internet works, meaning what's happening behind the scenes when we type our web address into our web browser or send a file or email to the recipient. This information will be very useful as we explore the concept covered in this course. To think of it in its simplest term, the internet is a network of cables that facilitate the transmission of data packets. The network is extremely vast and spread globally across 505,000 miles of hidden cables under the ocean to keep the world connected. This snapshot provides a graphic illustration of how complex the network of cable that power the internet really is. A data packets contain the information being transmitted such as an email file or web page in raw text format, and also the location of the sender and the recipient of the data packet. You can think of the location of a recipient or sender is the physical address of your residence or a phone number. No two residents have the same address and no two people have the same phone number. The same is true for the internet addresses, also known as IP address. An IP is string of numbers separated by periods that identify each computer that is connected to a network or the internet. For example, the IP address for google.com web server is 74125222472. Each website has its own unique IP address. We will discuss how the IP address translates into the google.com later in this lesson. Let's take a look at an example of an email data packet. As we can see here, the data packet consists of three parts. The header. The header identifies the sender in the receiver's IP address. It also specifies the protocol which we will explore later on. It indicates the payload, which in this case includes the actual email that is being transmitted. Lastly, it includes a trailer, which indicates that the package is complete and there is no further data for transmission. The speed at which these data transmitted packets can be transmitted over a network is determined by bandwidth. Bandwidth transmission capacity is measured by bit rate. The bit rate is the number of bits per second. The digital network can transmit any other measure of data transmission. Speed is latency. This is the amount of time it takes for one bit to be sent from the sender to the receiver. Let's take a look at an example. If you want to send a 4 megabyte MP3 file to a friend through an email attachment in 4 seconds, you would require the bit rate of 8 megabytes per second, which that is because 8 million bits equal 1 megabyte. Now, with billion of people connected to the internet at any given moment, it goes without saying that the internet is comprised of hundreds of thousands of networks and links. Billions of devices together globally. With the level of connectivity, you might be wondering how each individual network device can efficiently and accurately interpret and read data packets from various unique senders. Well, you can think of the internet as an architecture expressed in a set of protocols. A protocol is a well-established set of rules and standards used to communicate between the machines. We have already touched on one protocol, the IP. The IP is used to route information to the proper address and make sure that the data packets are sent to the intended recipient. Note that the IP protocol does not facilitate the physical connection between computers to transmit the data packets. The TCP protocol is intended for that purpose. The TCP protocol makes sure that Transmitting data packets are received without missing information. If it's determined that the data packet is missing, data TCP will request that the sender send them. Some other protocols that we will explore in this course include HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP and FTP. If you are like this video, then subscribe this channel. In the next video, I will explain about HTTP protocol. Thank you, bye. गेटसाइटमेंट को लाइक करें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन को दबा दें ताकि इस जैसी अपडेट्स आपको मिलती रहें।